¿Qué onda, vatos? Thanks for tuning in to yet another video. Infamous here, San Jose, California. Let's get on with the topic of today's ride. We're going to talk about the LiveWire. It's not going to be necessarily about the LiveWire. It's just what recently happened, say about 2 weeks ago. Electronic vehicles have been around for years. And living here in San Jose, we have a big manufacturer here in the Bay Area, Tesla. Now, I'm not 100% sure what happened. I've been waiting for Harley-Davidson to make a statement on what happened with the LiveWire. The LiveWire has been nothing but issues with Harley-Davidson, and I know from my work experience having to deal with making a transition into EV from a manufacturer dealership. I mean, it's a huge task. It's overwhelming for any manufacturer to just make the switch to EV. There's a lot of stuff to consider: patents, storages, safety precautions, quality control needs to be at tip top, and that's probably what happened with this LiveWire. Now, like I said, I'm not 100% sure what happened, but like I mentioned, Harley-Davidson they haven't made a statement about the incident. So that I'm just gonna go ahead and predict from my experience and from what I've seen. Maybe there was a quality control issue. I don't know. It was at a Harley-Davidson dealership from the video, as you can see. I just don't know if it was related to a service visit, maybe the mechanic, the technician. Regardless, this is what Harley-Davidson has to do when they're making a switch like this, when they're transitioning over to EV. When Harley-Davidson makes such a move, or when a manufacturer makes a move like this, they typically just train the shop foremans or the master technicians. They're the ones that get specialized training for these bikes, for these EVs. They go to a special class. I mean, it's a training course for the whole dealership. It's a training course for just about everything. The manufacturing, like I said, the parts, the factories, stuff has to be done differently. And it all depends on just quality control, the training. This is going to be a learning experience for Harley-Davidson overall on overall quality control. Typically, this is what happens. Tesla, they've made this mistake before by switching to a lower cost battery on some of their vehicles. A lot of the batteries were failing because they switched from a different manufacturer, typically Panasonic, and recently they started developing their own batteries. So that's probably what happened. Maybe it was that type of issue, and maybe this might be the first of many. We just don't know. Like I said, Harley-Davidson, Harley-Davidson, they haven't announced anything, or I haven't been able to find anything. I don't know if you guys seen something, or maybe a statement based on Harley-Davidson. Maybe you guys can probably leave a
few moments later.
Sorry, I was being distracted. Pass by just kind of got my attention. Anyways, if you guys heard or seen anything from Harley-Davidson from Bike Week, you guys can probably just leave it in the comments. Like I said, I don't know. They haven't issued any statement, but if this is a quality control type of deal, then we're going to start seeing more and more of such incidents. There's a whole different process to storing these batteries, and that's probably the main issue. It's just Harley-Davidson's going to have to be more involved on the transportation of these batteries, the storing of these batteries. I mean, these batteries are super sensitive. You can't just throw them around like any other part. You have to be very cautious handling these batteries. Any type of compromise in these batteries can lead to the vehicle burning up or smoking up or anything like that. Any type of compromise. I mean, when Tesla was going through some of these issues, I remember in the investigations, they were pulling battery crates to the side and watching them 24/7. They were watching the batteries for weeks just to see if any type of compromise was popping up. And I'm not kidding. There was people flown in from Japan or from wherever these batteries were manufactured. They were flown in and they were flown in and put to look over these batteries 24 hours. You know, someone would always check in on the batteries just to see if there was any rust, any compromise, any type of corrosion, you know, just something. And something like this on these batteries, a little bit of corrosion can severely have bad consequences. And as you can see with the video, that's probably what happened. That's what I would say probably happened. You know, there's 100 different factors. If it wasn't quality control, and if it wasn't the batteries themselves, then maybe it was one of the mechanics. Something must have happened, a wire. Like I said, the mechanics, the master mechanics, they need training, and the only way to really get an understanding of EV is by working on it. And eventually Harley-Davidson's gonna start turning this thing around. But you know what, I don't want to talk about the LiveWire too much in this video. It's just that, you know, just the whole process, everything, selling that bike for $30,000 and then having this type of issue. And like I mentioned, this might be the first of many, who knows, depending on the manufacturing, depending if they decided to make a switch. Maybe they were trying to cut back on costs. Like recently, you know, I'm not sure if they're trying to cut back on costs like we've seen recently with some of the Harley-Davidson other models, most notably the key fob. You know, instead of giving out 2, they're only giving out 1. They're cutting back on cost. Another notable difference on their touring models, the hydraulic clutch, they cut that out, but they're still selling that bike at the same price, or they even probably increased the price. Who knows? I don't know. Like I said, Harley-Davidson hasn't released anything, but maybe it has to do with something of that type of situation. I don't know. Maybe it is Harley-Davidson trying to cut back a little bit. The LiveWire ain't selling too good. They might be losing a lot of money, and they probably seeked an alternative to, you know, just cut back on costs. And that would be a major cutback, would be batteries, because batteries for these vehicles I think they're like, you know what, I don't know, but I believe they're like 60 or 70% of the overall on most EV. They're about, I believe they're 70. You know what, I don't know what's the cost of these EVs. I do remember, but I actually forgot what it was. I forgot the number. But regardless, the batteries are the highest cost for these EVs out here on the street and stuff like that. So if this is a glimpse of what's to come, I'm actually kind of afraid for Harley-Davidson. You know what, that bike already had a recall. You know, there's been issues and hasn't been selling well, as I mentioned already. You know, I hate repeating myself, but, you know, I just want to drive that in with you guys. Just, you know, just let you guys know the LiveWire has been complete garbage. You know what? That's it. I'll probably talk about the LiveWire in another video. Just wanted to kind of input my 2 cents. Maybe I forgot something. So if you guys were wondering, just look into the description of the video. I typically write quite a bit in there. You guys just stay out there, stay safe. Don't believe everything you read. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.